Oh, I just can't wait for this thing. So many things coming to Walt Disney World in the future, and we're going to tell you our takes on them. Plus, this week's Wet Spaghetti. Let's bring back the magic.
Bring back the magic for all to see. Together we'll discover all the joy and glow. In every story, there's a little bit of gold. Join our podcast adventure, let the magic unfold.
Wow, that was a great opening.
Thank you.
I'm impressed, and I'm completely thrown off my game because, wow. All right, everybody.
Did I capture the audience?
Welcome to another great episode of Bring Back the Magic podcast. This episode is brought to you by us, Theme Park Chuckle, our sub-brand here, where you can grab a Disney-based t-shirt or two for your wearing around the park, especially this Baseline Besties shirt, which is for your pals that enjoy going to Baseline Tie Pals with you. So grab this on themeparkchuckle.com.
Inspired by our friends, we were matching shirts.
Yes.
Mark and Stacy, our Baseline
I was just going to say that.
besties.
Thanks for stealing it away from me. And I am one of your hosts. I'm Josh.
And I am his sister, Gina. For those of you just joining us, welcome aboard. Please be sure if you are watching this on YouTube, because why would you not and get the benefit of seeing us, give us a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on the screen on my nose. If you're watching on Spotify, or actually I guess you'd be listening on Spotify, hit the follow. Follow us on social media while you're at it, at BBT Magic Podcast on TikTok, on Instagram, and we also do have a Facebook.
Yes, and those of you watching, please reminder this is TV 14. So any of you younger viewers, make sure you have your parents' permission before watching this program. But they tend to think you're going to be all right. Okay. Anyway, so another episode, another day. Was it the same day? No, it's not. It's a different day.
Don't ruin the magic.
Do we record more than one of these in a day? Who knows? Sometimes not.
This might have been a 24-hour recording session, and we might have recorded this 3 months ago, for all you know.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, but you know what this one is going to be? It's going to be a little more focused on this episode. Not so much small talk, because I can't think of anything to talk about.
Okay.
There's things going on. Gina, doesn't your ears look glittery? I like the shirt.
There's
I bought you
always something to small talk about, Josh.
I like to talk about one thing. I got this t-shirt on, much like last time I was on a podcast. I have another t-shirt that somebody was so nice enough to send me. It says,
Bad day to be a Dole Whip.
Yeah, it says Bad Day to be a Dole Whip. It's a very cute shirt from our friends over at Midwest Nice Magic on Etsy. And check them out, you know. I wasn't paid to say that, but it's a really fancy shirt.
People
and I like it, nice
see
quality.
Dole Whips, they think Josh. People see
They're like,
Stitch, and they think
let's
me.
get this fatty another Dole Whip. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I need to start promoting something I do like. I feel like I talk all the time about I love Chip and Dale, and yet all I keep getting shoved is
What
Stitch.
do you want somebody to throw a squirrel or chipmunk in the
Speaking
mail for you?
of small talk, though, Josh, and people giving you things, guys, if you are watching on YouTube, you're going to be amazed. I am wearing a watch right now that my brother gave me that is maybe the only Stitch thing he could get me to wear, because the thing that trumps my loathe of Stitch is my love of sparkle. And this watch is actually really awesome because it's all like bling bling Stitch on the face, but then when you like hit the button, it like lights up through the sparkle.
Yeah, it's like an LED that goes through the sparkle.
And I really kind of love it, guys. So I don't
I'll
want to look
make
like
you a fan yet.
No, I'm not a fan of him. I'm just, and the good news is from afar, I don't think anybody can tell that's what it is. So while Josh is getting things that are Dole Whip, and I'm still getting Stitch stuff sent to me, usually to torment me, I would like to put out there again.
He's so cute.
I am a fan of Chip and Dale. I am a fan of all things glittery. I love Benjamin Franklin. So if you have any photos of him
Gina
on green
loves all things that sparkle, like confetti.
Yay! I do. But also on that note, I would like to say thank you to those of you who have reached out or have sent us things. That's very nice of you. We really do appreciate that. That's super, super kind. Also, just want to give a real quick, I know it's not the shout out section, but to the podcasts that have been gracious enough to invite us to be part of their show. And that was obviously
Signs of Amusement.
And
Sharing the Magic
podcast. And of course, the Magic of Mayhem. So
yes.
We're very grateful.
We got some more coming up. We got some more coming up.
do.
And actually, by the time time this airs, we might have already had another one that we've been on.
Surprise.
Surprise.
But we love being guests on podcasts. So if you have a podcast that wants to be a guest, let us know. And on that note, people have asked us when we're going to start having guests. And we're just trying to figure out the logistics with our system, but also tell us down below. I feel like guests are better, like we've done so far with our friends, on the audio only podcast. Nothing against the looks of anyone who'd be our guest. I feel like
I've been told I have a face for radio.
I think that doing guests, it works out better on our audio format. But if you guys like to see the guests and would like us to do it that way, let us know. We're always open to your feedback and input. So give us a shout down below.
Nice. Shout us out. Shout us out.
Yeah.
And because we're learning to keep pace on this a little better. Not so much in the past episodes, but we're going to go into a little section we like to call Wet Spaghetti. Mamma mia, that's a spicy idea.
We need wet spaghetti t-shirts. I have an image already with us throwing wet
We
spaghetti. So you just need to
We
vector
will have
it.
those.
Since we own that t-shirt company.
Suckers. I should also not put paid promotion in any of our videos anymore because I think that throws people off. But anyway, our wet spaghetti. Gina, would you like to take it away for wet spaghetti number 1 of the week?
No, because I feel like I just forgot my wet spaghetti already.
All right, you want me to go first?
Yes, please. Because why did I just go out of my head? Did I not make a note?
Okay.
Oh, great. I'm so prepared as usual.
Think about it while I debut this awesomeness for everybody. I
know what
heard,
it is.
rumor has it. You know what it is?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to go?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Rumor has it that at the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, they will be opening a speakeasy attached to the Tower of Terror. And the only way to get to it is through a secret other elevator entrance that will be near the ones you get off of when you're off the ride. So you'll be able to go there and drink in an old 1920s, 1930s style speakeasy with some of the theming of the hotel itself.
Do you know who'd really be happy if that spaghetti sticks? Would be all the people that purchased tickets to Jollywood Nights and were so excited about the Tip Top Lounge idea and then found it was a bar cart in the Courtyard and would love to see that. I think that spaghetti is very, very sticky. I would love to see that work because I also heard that. And I love that idea. I love that. Love.
You're expecting the tip top, you got the drip top. Yeah.
I love
it was
it.
a little rainy.
I think
No, but
that's
that's my wet spaghetti for the week, guys. Speakeasy at Tower of Terror because they can go through. They have what should be the restaurant at the bottom of the floor when you go over and you can see where the little whatever it's called. I can't think of it's like the sunshine or something. I forget what it's called. Whatever room. But they have like the menu out there and everything else. But I feel like that's something that's coming, guys.
I feel like it would be a fantastic update to that because obviously in Disney World, we have kept the same theme, which no complaints there. It didn't get, the Mission Breakout skin. I think that a great way to update that attraction and show it some love as it's been there for, I just saw the anniversary of that the other day. Is it like 20 some years that it's been there? How long has Tower of Terror been there?
But
man, don't come here for facts. But something like that.
Probably closer to 30.
Yeah, I think a speakeasy there would be a tremendous way to celebrate that timeless attraction. So I love the spaghetti, Josh. Love it. Yummy.
What is
Yum it.
yours, Gina?
Mine is, I heard that Disney will be bringing a VR experience to Disney Springs where you can select what decade of Disney parks you would like to be able to walk through.
Ooh.
Or old attractions perhaps that you can do a VR experience ride through because Disney doesn't want to bring back the old attractions we miss so much. Okay, we can accept that, but to create a VR experience where someone could feel like they are riding through Horizons or they are riding through World of Motion or maybe just walking through Old Future World or MGM in its heyday. I have heard that
Virtual
is the wet
walkthroughs
spaghetti.
of each of the parks.
Yes, and especially the virtual ride-throughs, I think would be very popular.
I like that.
Very, very popular. And family friendly because not necessarily thrill rides are not going to make anybody sick. So just strolling through for the people that try to experience what Horizons was like watching old home movies on YouTube. This would be a way that Disney could take their archival footage and create a VR experience you really felt like you were on Horizons.
Amazing.
With the scent coming right in as well. So full
amazing.
sensory.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That's some wet spaghetti right there. All right. Thank you for the wet spaghetti. Oh, Lord, that's supposed to make bowl.
When the moon hits your eye like a big wet spaghetti.
That's a wet spaghetti.
That's a wet spaghetti.
By the way, we're Italian. We can do this. Anybody else does it, you're just wrong. Anyways.
Well, I guess now I'm
Moving along. This episode, which is kind of off the cuff, like most of the things we do, I will kid you not, as we sat in the studio, I said to Gina, I said, here's the next episode. And it was not like we had this plan before she showed up. I'm just like,
totally different
we're going to
idea.
do this.
Also, I would like to say, this just goes to prove when each podcast that we've been on, I think they ask us how we prep for our shows. And we tell them, I don't understand what that means. Prep for our show is we sit down and go, what are we talking about? So I'm sure you can't tell when you watch the episode.
Gina and I, as you can tell, are no shortage of words. I mean, I stumble over mine multiple times, and I think if you heard one of the last episodes, me trying to read, it was not great.
Reading is not our thing.
Reading's hard. Words are tough. So this episode is actually, we're going through some future projects that are coming to the parks and kind of going over our feel about them and how excited we are for them, or, you know, what we think they'll be or what they might entail. So we're just going to unpack things one by one.
I would like to just put out there as a bonus wet spaghetti. Does anyone else feel like Disney should steal my idea of my song I used in the cold open and make a big promo video for everything that's coming of I just can't wait for this thing? I agree. They should.
Yeah, I actually did contact Disney, and
we know
they
watch
sent
our
back a
podcast.
soundbite.
Denied.
Yeah, so sorry, Gina. That's kind of what you did.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Anyhow, so we're going to go through these things. I'm going to kind of jump around a little bit, but let's start out with something that's already scheduling to open very soon, which is in one of our favorite parks, because there's only 4, Magic Kingdom, and it's the Beak and Barrel, which is the bar coming to Frontier Adventureland, kind of whatever you want. It's more Frontierland, I would say.
Adventureland, though. If it's across from Pirates.
Yeah, I guess you could say, but they always kind of like, there's a hairy.
I mean, it's a very.
There's a hairy line there between the two,
but
I would say Adventureland. I would
Adventureland.
say Adventureland.
Because it's a Pirates bar, and Pirates is an Adventureland.
Yes. Unfortunately, we don't edit, so I can't go back there and make myself right. So, anyway, that's scheduled to open, I think, around August 29th, 2025, somewhere around there. Yeah. Now, I love the idea. I do also enjoy that Disney is embracing the fact of, you know, when they expanded finally with alcohol into the parks with Magic Kingdom, because they felt like, you know, time is gone. I'll make everything that Walt wanted is kind of out the window anyway at this point. You know, before Be Our Guest was about the only place you could actually get alcohol. There's still no alcohol at carts. Like, you're not going to find like a walk up kind of thing and say you can walk with a beer kind of thing.
Which I'm fine with.
Which is fine. Because again, Magic Kingdom is more catered to the young kids. And I would just assume keep those things away from them. Because
it's just keeping it away from the people that will compromise the experience
and it's,
for
you
the
don't
littles.
need the loudness of Epcot's a different animal. Epcot, people are going around the countries. Epcot for a young child outside of maybe Frozen, Figment, some things like that, and the Guardians of the Galaxy kind of stuff, Nemo. Kids aren't as overcome with that excitement as they are in the Magic Kingdom. So you figure if you go to a bar, I really feel like the aesthetic of a pirate bar, first of all, drunken wenches for everyone. Okay, TV 14, bing. Or bing. I don't know where the little thing would have been over somewhere.
It's over me. It goes there.
Well, it's over for you now. So I really think that whole thing, there's so much they could do. There was a menu that came out. You know, they have some stuff. I think there's even a $46 plundering punch, I want to say it's
But
called.
I said to you, I like the idea better of saying, hey, here's a super expensive drink that comes with the cup, a la Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah.
But rather than them serving things in fun cups that people end up stealing, and then the drink just keeps getting more expensive and you don't get the cup with it. You know what I mean? I was going to pull up the menu.
I almost
while we
feel
were
like
looking.
that at $46 and like reminds me of a Trader Sam's kind of thing. That would you think it'd be a 2-person cocktail or something? I mean, it's not listed as one, but sometimes that happens.
I agree.
Like with the one at Trader Sam's, there's like the Nautilus, I want to say. So it's like 20,000 Leagues. Mm-hmm. If you go and get that, it's a 2-person drink. But this, as I'm looking at a little reference thing over here, It says it's the Kraken black spice rum, blackberry, lime, and vanilla served in a souvenir pirate skull mug. So they had me at skull mug. I will most likely get one. I was the same person that did like the beer flight they had with the Rancor teeth at Olga's, which they don't have anymore, by the way. So I actually have one of the things because you buy the little teeth that go and sit down in it. So I love that. I'll probably show it on some content at some point.
Yeah, I was trying to take a look at the menu because, I mean, obviously we're not going to spend the whole show on this, but it does look like a lot of cool options. You know me, we've talked about this on past shows. If there's something with hibiscus, I'm all about it. The only problem is it's a rum punch and rum hates me. But I'm excited to see that it looks like there's like a really, I guess that's a ceviche that Krakens catch that's got like the octopus thing hanging out. I got to say on theming, that looks awesome. I don't personally like octopus like that.
Octopus is a little chewy on my end. I'm like, it's
not
kind of
a
like
fan of
chewing
it.
through an old dead waterlogged finger or something.
It
You're like,
definitely
it's
feels
rubbery.
not my vibe. But
there also
am
to
excited
point
try
out,
it.
there is non-alcoholic beverages
Right.
on this menu.
I like seeing more places offer mocktails because not
Because
just
even as adults, not everybody drinks.
that's what I was going to say. Not even just for people that don't drink at all, but for people that just want to experience but don't want to drink right then. Because sometimes when you're walking around in 98-degree heat in Disney, you want that vibe of like going for a fancy drink, but you don't want to be hydrating with alcohol. So I like when they do that, as long as they're not sugary sweet.
The two that they have listed as the mocktails. Okay, we're going to go through the Cursed Treasure, which is an indulgent blend of coconut milk and cookie crumbs. Topped with the vanilla foam and Pirate's Gold. So Pirate's Gold, I'm guessing, is going to have some kind of element to like a little sprinkly, shiny kind
Edible
of
glitter.
thing. Like, yeah, I guess maybe like what do they call it? Not gold leaf or whatever, but you know that kind of thing. Edible gold.
Right.
So that's a Cursed Treasure. It's kind of coconut milk that reminds me of the blue milk and everything at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Now the Treasure Trove, and these are about, that one's like $7.75. There's a $13.75 cocktail that's the Mysterious Ube, lemon and coconut concoction served with a vanilla cake plank, chocolate cannonball, and golden caramel popcorn. I don't even know what to think of this by the description because I don't know if this doesn't even sound like a drink, but it sounds like a cake. Like, so
Is it a drink?
it says non-alcoholic specialty beverages. I mean, unless we
okay.
start drinking cakes now, I don't know. But there's a lot, like, I'll go through, and usually we don't do this on our episodes. We're just like, you remember what that was called? And then we're like, no. And then we get it wrong, and you come back and like, yeah, you guys are stupid.
But to save you time, we are going to try to get it right this time.
So, signature cocktails, they've got a Siren's Whisper, the Port of Call, Lit Fuse, Barrels Ablaze, Hibiscus Rum Punch Royale, the Salty Seas Margarita. That's cute. I actually like that one probably the best out of the names of this. And the Plunderer's Punch. I will say, if I'm grading, guys, this I feel like Gino on Instagram. Guys, use guys. If I'm grading by the, I guess, the originality of what each of these drinks are called, I would think the Salty Seas Margarita is on point and on theme. And I also think the Plunderer's Punch for something like that is on theme.
What does it say is in the protocol? Does
What
it
is-
say, or wherever you're looking, does it show a description?
Yeah, it
of
says
what the-
London Dry Gin, Ruby Port, lemon juice, and spiced cranberry. This is directly from Disney, guys. So this is the actual on Disney's website for the Beak and Barrel viewing their menu.
Yeah.
So this is
Because I was going to
not
say
through one of
that
the
for
other
me, like a
blog
lot of
sites.
these are served in copper mugs, which, you know, first thought would be a mule. But I'm curious if that's an option there, which wouldn't be hard to make.
I
obviously,
don't
but.
see. That's a good point, though, man. A really good mule would really kind of.
You know what kind of mule? The hibiscus mule.
Yeah. And that could
Sign
be like,
me up.
well, that's not, well, again, and it's lime top with Prosecco. So I'm guessing like that's the Punch Royale. But
Sounds
they have
good, I
that. They've
just
got
can't
some
do
little
rum.
things. The rumor has that this is going to be a timed experience again, the same way as everything else.
Understandably, though. Understandably. You don't want people that are just milling around sipping the same drink and keeping everybody.
Yeah. And I believe that it's the same for lunch or dinner. Like it's not a changing menu that I can see from that. But just to show everybody that's kind of, or to give you a little taste of that. I'm actually, for one, really excited about it because I feel like it's going to bring an element of everybody. Like Magic Kingdom can get a little much for me because it's like sensory overload. I sometimes with crowds or things like packed and being this close to people, maybe you go in there and you sit, and even though there's like stuff going on, it's like you're out of the heat, You have a drink, you can enjoy a drink. I'm hoping it's not so push everybody out. And because it's Magic Kingdom, I feel like other than the first part of this, people trying to get into it might level out a little bit, not be as crowded. And even you see that with Ogas from time to time. So many people, they won't give you a time limit when it's not really big in demand in certain times.
Yeah, my thing is also just I struggle with the time limit of when it starts.
It should start when you get your drink.
It should start because if there's a delay on your drinks and everything like that. Now, I understand that it could be argued that like people with, again, Scam the Disney being like, just take a while to order your drink. Just take a while to get to hang in there. But it's like, what's the point? Why do you just want to be in there without your drink? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
It'd be funny to go into it and then be like this when you come out of there and be like, but like cosplay as you walk out and people are like, how are the prices in there? And you're missing an arm and a leg and you got like a peg leg. You're like, it only costs me an arm and a leg. Yar. Yar, I make a barter with you, true as a North Star. But yeah, anyway. Outside my pirate things here.
I like it. Remember when I posted that pirate picture of you the other day on socials?
Oh my goodness. That was a throwback. Me and eyeliner. Everybody need to see Josh and eyeliner. So moving on from the Beak and Barrel, which I think we're both probably excited. My excitement level for that, we'll just say from a 1 to 5 standpoint, where my excitement level is. I would put my excitement for that at probably a 4.75.
I'm going to say 4.
Okay.
Because again, you got to think who I'm traveling with.
Yeah.
So I've got mom who doesn't drink. I've got an 8-year-old son.
That can't handle his alcohol.
Right.
Yeah,
he's the worst. Anyway,
just,
no, I've got that.
So
for me, like when I'm going on an adult trip, great. But when I'm traveling with them, the idea of trying to get in there, face the crowd, be on a timed experience. The timed experience is never exciting.
Well, let's take that out of the equation. Let's say you're on an adult trip. And that's in there. How excited are you to be on that? It's like it's the same.
4.5 maybe.
Okay. All right. So I'm winning. All right. So I'm 2, a quarter point ahead of you. So that's for that. Moving forward for another project that's supposed to be, and that's, like I said, August 29, 2025. Another project that's supposed to come to fruition at the end of 26 would be Muppets and Electric Mayhem, which is the reskinning of Rock and Roller Coaster. So we all kind of feel the same way about Rest in Peace Muppets on the 70th anniversary of it. They're like, here, let's take that. There is rumors of them trying to bring back Muppet Vision over into where I guess they had the Lightning McQueen thing or whatever else.
That's where Villains is. That's where the Villain show is.
And that's not doing great
McQueen.
either. So it's like there's rumors of like making a Courtyard back there. Maybe they have some more space or something and redoing them up. But that's all been rumors, and that's just what they are at this point. But sticking with this, just strictly based on Rock and Roller Coaster, what do we think about it? And I'll let you kind of delve into that first.
My honest take on this is that I love anything Muppets, first and foremost. I'm always going to be excited for something Muppets. This is like a wet spaghetti moment and kind of one of the things that inspired the wet spaghetti concept, because I had heard a couple years ago somebody say this on like a fan forum, like, you know what they need to do is skin it with Muppets Mayhem. So I don't know if they knew somebody and knew it was in the works, or if that was something that Disney got wind of and was like, oh yeah, that is a great idea because we're going to shut down Muppets. But if I knew a little more about it, I could elevate my excitement score. I'm going to give this a 4 also, because I will say that while I love Muppets, I do also love the Aerosmith vibe. Hearing that music on the ride is so fun. It also depends on which soundtrack you get, because sometimes there's that one song that you just like don't know as well, and you're like, this isn't the one.
I love it at the end. It's like, loving a roller coaster.
Yeah, but I love it. If I get Walk This Way or anything, I love that. Dude Looks Like a Lady. I love those. So if I knew if it was what kind of songs they're going to be singing, is it going to be Muppets Mayhem covering famous songs, or is it going to be a new soundtrack for the ride? I don't know. How much Muppets are we going to get in the pre-show area? Or if I knew more, I could elevate my excitement more, but just based on Disney's letdowns lately of overpromise, underdeliver, or missed opportunities, I'm going to leave it at a 4.
I'm hoping, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm hoping that they go and try to bring a next level of excitement to things. I'm actually really looking forward to the pre-show. Yeah. So the pre-show element of things, how are they going to do that? Is it going to be video screened, or are they going to do something more in a live kind of
Will it look
deal?
Anything like the queue where you're going into
it's going to be audio, it's going to be animatronic kind of stuff at there, because they are puppets. You don't have to worry about employing people. Right. You can put a whole animatronic section to take care and doing those things the same way they do Bean at the Muppet Vision, the same thing with Waldorf and Statler.
People have definitely suggested that they make a presence somewhere before you get shot off, or in the pre-show, or post even coming out of there. That's the thing, Josh.
I'm hoping they change enough in there that it doesn't just blatantly look like a reskin.
Right. Is it going to look like something like band related where it's Muppet Mayhem? Is it going to be them racing to a show? Is it going to, I mean, I'd like to see a whole new storyline.
Let's put it this way, okay? And we can be honest about this as Disney fans. I don't never want to feel like we're a trash cast, because Rock and Roller Coaster was great. When I first got on it, G-Force Records, when they actually had the guy in there that like would walk around, pick up the guitar, and he's like, then they realized they were employing somebody just to hand a guitar to a fake Aerosmith, or like, you know, it just made no sense. Or Joe Perry back there, and they're like, here you go. But the actual ride, the shot out of the cannon kind of feel that they have. You okay over there with your microphone?
Yes, I was just adjusting my Mickey because he doesn't look good on the screen, but I ruined it.
No, now you ruined it. There you go. Why don't you just put him down? Now it's distracting everybody.
You could keep talking. There's people on Spotify. I don't know anything I'm doing.
Gina's doing all kinds of things. So as far as the ride itself, when you're riding through it, there's nothing really to the ride. The ride is the motion of it. Like, because you're going through like cutout stuff that's like basically neon colors. It's
but it is better than most in the dark roller coasters.
It's like
because
couple
there's nothing
signs.
to
Yeah,
see.
it's couple signs and stuff like that's great. Which I feel like, especially the Electric Mayhem aspect of that, things you could have something where you're going through like Animal's Mouth, or so they could make a very trippy vibe kind of thing in there, which is cool. But it's not a long ride. So the skinning of it, I can see the biggest hurdle for them is going to be the pre-show stuff, making it that way. They'll be able to redo the record stuff if they're going to do that, like the same kind of style. That'd be pretty. But
that's
simple.
the question: will it be the same storyline, just a Muppets theme, or are they going to come up with a whole? I kind of root for the idea of it being a whole nother story.
It would
if
be
you're
nice,
going to take something
but
away,
again,
surprise us,
cautiously
wow us.
optimistic that
also the timeline makes me think not so much, because the fact that it sounds like it's opening,
end of
so
26.
soon. But
and just so you know, the timeline, the ride, Rock and Roller Coaster, shuts down the end of the year, which is end of 25. The end of 26. So you're saying within a 12-month period.
But you did say they don't need to build the coaster. The coaster we know is not going to change.
And
so it's
fun.
really like in that amount of time, you could do a lot. Rebuild an entire pre-show.
Yeah.
You could create a whole new outside aesthetic. Will it look like more like a Muppets Courtyard? Will it? I mean, they could do a lot in a year.
The other thing
when not
is,
having to build the engineering of the coaster.
And the other thing is like the walkway to the villain show and everything over
Didn't Test Track take a year? Wasn't it a year from the time they closed Test Track down and everything they did to change that?
And it's a good point, because this is not central kind of real estate. So they can work on it a good amount of time because it's kind of off to the side and they can get to it from backstage. So they have enough in and out ability. It's not like when they start doing the renovation to Spaceship Earth, whenever that happens, it's going to be a lot of an undertaking.
That's why it's kind of weird they decided to open Villains right over there, knowing that they were going to do this Rock and Roller Coaster, because they really could have shut off
it's gonna
that
be what
whole
it is.
end. But my thing is, again, I am excited for it. I'm always excited for like a new concept. I just need a little more information before I could give that a 5. I mean, based on my love of the Muppets, yeah. But like we talked about, you can't take a ride.
What's your rating then? We'll go into it since you've already went through it. So you said you're 4.
4.
Okay, well, I wasn't ready for the thing. So we're going to go back. Each time I mention one of these at the end, I'm going to say, what's your rating? So we're on the same page. Right here. Mind melt. Okay, I give up. I'm thrown in the towel. I would say for me, my excitement level for this, I'm going to put at a generous 3. I'm not stoked about it because I like the ride. I like Rock and Roller Coaster. I just don't feel like there's going to be enough of anything for me that's really going to set it apart. And I'm like, I'm more excited about the pre-show thing to see what they do with it than I'm excited about the ride, because I've been on the ride a bunch of times. And they're not going to change that ride mechanic and all. It's a great, solid ride. I'd love to see where the storyline goes, but I just feel like for me, it's going to be a 3. Unless they do something really out of the box. And that's just kind of the way I feel about it, because I feel like I'm more mourning the loss of Muppet Vision than I am excited about them popping in somewhere that seems like an afterthought. But to each their own. Now, same park, and it draws a parallel here because Monstropolis, which is the Monsters Inc. land that's now going in where
Muppet Murderers.
Vision. Yeah, the Muppet Murderers.
The Muppet Murderers.
The Muppet Murderers. Back to the scene
Muppet
of the crime.
Murderers.
So the Evictors. Yeah, the Evictors. So Monstropolis is supposed to have the Monsters Inc. door ride Okay, so that's going to be the big thing. And I believe that's going to be in the back part of the land. There's
Took over
supposed
the
to be a
parking lot.
Monsters Inc. show.
Right.
So which I believe
The
is probably
Glob
going to
Theater.
be, that's probably going to be where Muppet Vision is. Now we're saying about Harryhausen's being the
Asian restaurant.
Asian restaurant that possibly could go in there. There's no real confirmation on that I've seen.
It's been in
Plus, they
this-
said there's going to be a shopping experience in there too, so there'll be a shop
and a little
for,
kids playground they added in some of the
Yeah.
spec, which is smart.
Yeah, because they should have stuff because with them taking out like Honey I Shrunk the Kids, Movie Set Adventure, all those
I mean,
things.
it's not gonna be like that. It's literally gonna be
I'm
like
saying
what they
even
have
if
over in
that-
Epcot over outside.
But even that, it's great because kids are still kids. People
Yeah.
realize you have to do this from like you can
Well,
nurture
when you
the most
have a
basic
ride
needs of
that children may not be tall enough to ride
Yeah.
or may not want to ride, it is good for the parent that's waiting to have something nearby that they can entertain the child with. So even just a simple playground, I know from when my child was that age,
Well,
that
let's-
entertains them. You know
Let's
what I
take
mean?
a step back too, because in my mind, then they should have put 2 rides in for Monsters Inc.
But they have a show.
The show is fine. Kids really want to get on rides. That's what they want to go do.
I agree.
So if you could have done something, like, okay, it's like having Flight of Passage in the Navi River ride. Okay, so like kids can't get on Flight of Passage, but they can get on the Navi River and just go through stuff. But if you did something for Monsters Inc. where it's more of a kids-like thing, like a Toontown-like ride like Roger Rabbit in Disneyland or whatever it might be, that gives the children something they can actually get on.
Well, here's hoping
because
that
remember,
whatever-
Disney's for kids. We figure we're big kids, but we don't have any constraints. We just can't get on the ones that are for like, at a amusement park that are for little tiny children. But we can get on pretty much everything, and the kids don't have that option, especially under a certain.
But I do think let's hold out and see what's going in the Glob Theater, because we're just presuming it's just a theater show because it was a theater before. There could be something more to it. I do think that for as much
Gentleman's bet.
I do think for as much as we talked about how sad we were for Muppets because it was family friendly, that if there is something really great in there, that'd be fine for me. For somebody with a small child, as long as there's something, yes, there are rides. But look at Galaxy's Edge. Not all kids are going to ride Rise of the Resistance. Definitely not all kids are going to ride Smuggler's Run. So there's plenty of lands over Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster. There's plenty of rides that kids are not going to ride. So I don't think, I do think though for Monstropolis specifically to agree with you, and it kind of reminds me of, we talked about Toy Story Land and Dr. Seuss over at Universal. That's something that seems very, you'd think that they would put more kid-friendly stuff in it. To not have something that's super kid-friendly is kind of a little bit of a miss, because kids will really gravitate towards those characters.
Yeah.
I will tell you what I'd really like to see there. First of all, they took out 2 restaurants, so they need to put 2 in.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Like they should put more dining.
So
It's got to at least be a
you
quality
need a quick
walk-up.
service and a sit down. So if Harryhausen's is a sit down, let's say, you need a good quick service to replace Pizza Rizzo. But I would like to see
anything would top Pizza Rizzo except for the antipasta salad.
I
which
would
love.
like to see some streetmosphere there. I would really like them to create the vibe that this is
The CDC. That's what I said. I feel like the CDC should
like
be like
monsters
a thing.
walking around. I don't want to see it just be like this is a monsters themed part of a theme park. I really would like to see a little bit a la Galaxy's Edge, but obviously Toy Story Land doesn't do anything like this. But something that really lends to that haunted mansion vibe theming I talk about, where the cast members are really in tune with the ride they're representing, but something that makes it feel like you are in Monstropolis as far as the vibe there. That there's people walking around dressed, not just Sulley and Mike, but like people dressed as monsters, things that really lent to that. I'd seen in one of the spec drawings that there was something like a car that people could get their pictures with or something like that. But it looks like they've left enough space for a walkability and kind of not bottlenecking.
I believe when they expanded back was to the the cast member parking.
Yeah.
So you can see some aerial views from different IG accounts and everything else that go there and blogs, which is nice because you can see.
BioReconstruct always does the best.
Yeah,
like,
and it's great because
drone
you can
shots.
see that stuff and you're like, oh, okay, this is.
But I'd like to see that there. That to me would be really fun, and kind of like the way everybody talks about what is it, Pixar Place, like over where it was like The Incredibles, and that just kind of became nothing in Hollywood studios.
Pixar Pier.
I thought it was Pixar Pier at Disneyland, but at Disney World I'm talking about. In Hollywood Studios, that little offshoot right by where you can get the Num Num cookie. And it was like they had.
Oh, you're talking about that garbage? That's nothing.
But
That's where
what
it
I'm
used to
saying.
load. That used to load in Toy
I know,
Story
but I'm
Midway
saying
Marion.
for a very brief amount of time, it was like you could see the Incredibles. There was the little
Yeah.
Luxo lamp. So something like that.
Well, now they're over. Like you can see certain people they'll appear just before Woody's lunchbox,
Right.
Or
So-
not Woody's lunchbox, Woody's roundup.
So I'm saying that if you could do something where in Monstropolis there felt more like that open area, lots of character interactions, because that's the one thing that Disneyland does a lot better than Disney World is unexpected character interactions and more floating characters. But I think if they did it regularly, it would work well. It's just because Disney World doesn't do enough. Like, hey, here's a pop-up character meet and greet or characters roaming around that all of a sudden everybody panics and like creates big lines. But if you kind of knew that was what you were going to get in Monstropolis, I think that could be really cool. But that's what I would like to see. I would like to see it be like a destination area where it's spaced out enough that you really feel like you. Because remember, Muppets Courtyard, other than like the fountain area, once you got back in where you were coming out, it was very congested. Yeah. So this looks like this layout is a lot more open. So I'm excited about, and I am excited about that ride. So I'm going to give Monstropolis, I'm going to say, as far as excitement, I'm going to say 4.75 because I do feel like there's a lot of possibility. What I've seen of the ride does look really awesome, and it looks like some new technology within there, obviously. The fact that there is the additional attraction, ideally going in the Glob Theater. The fact that there will be at least one restaurant, hopefully two. Some new shopping. There's a lot that they can do there. So if Disney can hit this one out of the park, I will be thrilled, but I'm going to cautiously give a 4.75.
Yeah, I would say I'm probably about the same as you. Like, I would say I'm not total perfect score of 5, but I would say 4.5 to 4.75, somewhere in there. 4.65. I really think that it's going to be neat. Yeah. I hope that they do incorporate some elements in there that really make it stand apart from other lands they have done. Yeah. And I feel like there's things that you can do. Like I said, even if it's a CDC, like people walking around, there's got like kind of like stormtroopers do.
Yeah. Or the army men in.
You can do all those kind of things and have those elements because it'd be fun. And you could make a guest interactive experience. I hope there's some interactive elements to it that could be really cool.
Even just like on the speakers over top, like have the Monsters Inc. thing, but then sometimes have like the little announcements like Everybody Loves on the People
Mover. And keep in mind, there has been no date given to when this is even remotely scheduled to open.
Even on like People Mover, Everybody Loves the famous, Paging Mr. Morrow, Paging Mr. Tom Morrow, like having little announcements that are kind of like loudspeaker. Yeah, or even just like something from the factory that they're paging somebody or some announcement or whatever. I think that kind of theming is very easy to do, but can make a big
it's also
impact.
like you can add Easter eggs in there. It's like, because you got John Goodman's voice for Sulley. And you'd be like, Mr. Goodman, please respect,
they could also have the Monsters University tie in there, not just like the actual factory, but they could have something that lends to the prequel as well.
I like that too. So another one coming, and this is scheduled for, I think, 2027, somewhere around. We're going to jump parks. We'll jump back to this one again for another thing later. Indiana Jones and Encanto are coming to Tropical Americas in Animal Kingdom. Now, I wish they would have just done a Zootopia land because I think it would have landed better on that. But we've talked about the fact of Dinosaur clothing. Dinosaur is a top tier ride. I don't care what anybody says. Dinosaur is one of the top rides in Disney, just bar none. You have Cosmic Rewind, you've got your Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, Dinosaur, all these stuff. They put in a certain bucket and they're all together. And same thing like Space Mountain, Thunder Mountain, those kind of deals. And Mine Train. So I feel like the same way you do because they're trying to go through the Indiana Jones ride. I'm hoping it's not just a reskin. I hope it's a rebuild and they just use some of the elements of it. They can go through there and they're going to have to do it because it's a very dark ride and things they're going to have to put in actual visuals in it. Even though they have it in Dinosaur, but there's not a ton of it. Like it's more like you're like trying not to get sick. But I feel like that and the Encanto stuff, I'm not jazzed because I'm not that big into Encanto. I'm hoping I'm surprised by it and saying because it's more supposed to be a livable kind of space where you're walking around. It's kind of got that villagey kind of feeling to it.
Also, isn't the ride just a carousel? What other ride are they doing in there?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, but I'm saying just having that as part of it.
That's a real question, though. Yeah. Like, is there another attraction besides the carousel that's going there?
I don't know. Don't quiz me.
We don't know.
Quiz
we didn't
me.
prepare.
Don't quiz me. But I would say my excitement level for that because this is something I'm not even going to spend that much time on. My excitement level for that is probably, again, a 3.5, maybe a 3.5 for it, because I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with the Indiana Jones stuff. I want to see if that spills out into the other parts of Dinoland. So if you had something a la like the Jock Lindsay hangar bar, kind of that's got to have that Indiana Jones kind of thing at Downtown Disney, but have an actual little setup, kind of a little bit of a wet spaghetti there. It's like have an Indiana Jones cursed idol bar kind of thing or something. Have something where you have a good shop that you can go through, more like what they used to do at the beginning of the park. And you have the memorabilia stuff where you had signs, things. You could do stuff where you could buy movie props in there. You could buy... Disney's not short on selling anybody anything. And you can really use that Indiana Jones property. You know, again, it's a Lucasfilm kind of deal. So what do you think? I'm going
to say I loved Encanto. I did love that. But there's a little bit of a line butter again, as far as I'm concerned, as far as that's a relatively new movie to just all of a sudden get this big section of the park.
Oh, so
that bothers me.
Suffers from a stitch.
Yes, the situation. I am going to give Encanto a 3 because I just need a lot more information before I could say I'm excited about it. Like,
yeah, well, that's brought the whole overall score. If it was just Indiana Jones, it'd be a 4. But
Indiana Jones, I'm still going to give a 3.5 because we've talked about this on the show. I am terrified it's just going to be a skin on that ride.
But it's still going to be good.
It might be, but
do
is
you
it
like
going to be
Dinosaur?
better?
That's the question.
I love Dinosaur.
Exactly.
Is it going to be better, though? That's the thing. Don't change something and not make it an upgrade.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I
but
don't
what
think
I'm saying
Tiana
is you still
is
love
better
the
than-
ride if the ride mechanic is...
But that's like, you could say that about Splash Mountain. You know
I haven't
what I
been
mean?
on the new one because
I know, but I'm
I
saying
can't go out with
you
my
still
daughter.
can like the theming better on a previous one. So even if the ride physically is the same and I like that, it doesn't mean I like it better because the theming is a big part of it. Yeah. So I love your idea about a bar or something like that. I think that's really cool. I also think it's very
all my ideas are about bars. It's
but
horrible.
I do think it's very wild when you think about it, about how many properties Disney is not using that are big ones. And Indiana Jones is going to be in 2 different parks in Walt Disney World. I love Indiana Jones, don't get me wrong, but it's
Indiana
wild.
Jones, from the opening of MGM, has stood the test of time.
I know.
That show has not gone anywhere, and it still stands up because it's a great live-action show.
But I'm just saying, it is wild to think that
I haven't seen it in many moons right now because I'm like, I've seen it.
I love Indiana Jones. Don't get me wrong. I was just saying, I think it's wild that that is one that's in 2 parks now. It's not something you would expect when there's so many other ones. Like I say, it's weird to me that Roger Rabbit is nowhere. Yeah. Like he used to be for a little bit, but they don't utilize that in Disney World.
And again, slated 2027. So we've got our things. I put it like at a 3
but I am
because
excited, and I will ride it,
down.
even though Dinosaur now kills my neck. So I will have to ride Indiana Jones at least once. I'll need a brace.
And again, like I said, we're going to bounce back and forth. And maybe I'll just do this in a different order since we're already in Animal Kingdom. Okay. Zootopia, Better Zoogether, I think it's called. Excuse me, Better Zoogether movie. I can't say that's a hard. Who named that? Same person did Lululemon. Better Zoogether is winter 2025. Okay, so that should be by the end of the year debuting in Animal Kingdom. That it's funny because I have a better chance of getting my family into that than the It's Tough to Be a Bug, because my wife hates bugs. Like she is petrified of it, and she has good reason to be. She was tormented when she was younger, so it's like, but when they're like, here, let all the bugs exit the theater and everything else, you're like, ah! You know, like this, it's like all under your butt. You're like, there's too many things that mess with you in that I was like, this is not my favorite. But I really do like Zootopia. I think it's a great movie. I would love to see more stuff done with it. I mean, obviously overseas is a lot bigger and they have a lot more expansion things into Zootopia, but I'm looking forward to this one being the end of the year, getting able to see that, where I'm hoping maybe if they said winter, maybe it's more towards that November area when I'm already there, because I feel like that's getting towards winter. Maybe not. It's more late fall,
First day of winter is technically December 21st, my son's birthday.
Yeah, the winter solstice. So, yeah, maybe, okay, then scratch that. Whatever, it won't be there. But maybe they get it done early and I can see it. If not, I'll have to wait until after the first of the year. But that, I'm excited to see what they do with it. I mean, it's a movie. It's, it's a 3D movie. It's like all those things. Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
So it will be interactive, you think?
It's going to be the same thing. They can't take out It's Tough to Be a Bug that has, it's like having Monsters Laugh Floor or anything else.
But they did do that with the Pixar Film Festival, because that used to be an interactive.
Well, it sort of kind of is still. There's little elements of that just because it's 3D, and I think there's still things that shake or move. But I love that, by the way. I love the Pixar Film Festival because I love the little bird in it or whatever, Piper. I think that's hysterical. And then the Feast, the one with the dog. I'm like, those things just crack me up.
Yeah.
But I would say for that, as far as excitement level, probably like a 3.5 because it's like it's not anything that you're like, oh wow, what's this? Maybe 3.5, 3.75
For Zootopia?
For Zootopia.
I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Okay.
Because I did not enjoy It's Tough to Be a Bug for the same reason.
Maybe it's also clarity-wise because you're going to get from a 3D movie kind of thing, 3D
I
animation.
appreciated the ride, but I didn't enjoy it because, again, I also don't love bugs, and I don't like things that mess with my mind tremendously. And I remember having our nephew Luke on my lap, and I was just waiting for him to hedge that maybe he wouldn't like it, so I had an excuse to run out of the theater, and that's what I did. So I think I only saw that show all the way through one time in my life, and I was just like,
I've seen people sit down like, nope, like this, and they get up. This is like, arm your stingers, and they have that thing like and pokes you in the back.
So I'm
like,
excited because I really do love Zootopia. I'm excited for the sequel to Zootopia. I am looking forward to that because that'll add like one more thing at Animal Kingdom that I will be able to do and be able to do with my son. And my
that's
mom,
good.
and her
Okay,
mom.
I agree with you. And that's like I said, winter 2025. Here's one bouncing back into Hollywood studios. This was announced not long ago. It's the Animation Courtyard. It's going to be the magic of Disney Animation Hollywood Studios. So this harkens back to the old animation tour. So there's supposed to be interactive elements of this where you can go through and do some activities and all and see some things. And there's some, looks like some cool little happenings there where leads me to believe that this is bringing back those elements of the communicores of the world and interventions. When you go through and you're like, there's so many advances in technology now, what you can do. It's supposed to be like, there's all this stuff going on in the animation deal, and it's kind of like not abandoned, I guess, but like there's things you just go through and see that's in there. I'm really looking forward to that. Plus, they bring back the Sorcerer's Hat. Like, I know I like the Sorcerer's Hat. I won't lie.
Did not like the location.
I did not like where they put it. I also still don't understand why they got rid of the Earful Tower. I know it was in the back lot kind of thing, maybe for expansion, do whatever he goes. But that was really iconic for the park itself because that was the landmark. When you went through and saw all the things, then it became unofficially, it was basically, you think it would have gone to the Chinese theater or something, but it went over to Tower of Terror. Like, that was the thing when you saw all the parks together.
It was the hat for a while when the hat was there. That was the
exactly.
icon. And then it went,
But that's when they started taking things out. So now you get the animation, like the Sorcerer's Hat that's going to be there underneath there. And they'll have some, I'm sure, some character meet and greets and stuff like that in there as well. But I'm actually, weirdly enough, this might get my highest rating at 5. I'm really excited about it because I feel like you're bringing back the magic of what made Disney so great was that Hollywood Studios thing with MGM Studios because it was a working studio. When you used to go in the animation tour, they're working on a major motion picture. Yeah. They were actually, and they're artists drawing in there, painting cells, doing all this stuff from way back when. It was incredible. Now you don't see that. Maybe you'll see some people working on computers and everything else and trying to do some stuff. That to me is recapturing my childhood. Because I absolutely love it. I love the Robin Williams, Walter Cronkite movie that was in there. We took him through the animation process, and he was one of the Lost Boys and everything.
There are Pee-wee and Mel Gibson. Was that part on the animation tour or on the second part of the backstage tour? I can't remember.
That's taking it back. But I will say it's a solid 5 for me.
Yeah.
When they announced that, I was like, thank goodness, because I feel like that whole area is so disjointed now with Launch Bay. And I feel like that Star Wars had knocked out 3 corners of the park. Because not 3/4, but 3 corners. Like, it was like you had Star Tours over here by Backlot Express.
You have Star Wars Studios.
And then on the other things, like flanked like a triangle, you had Star Wars Launch Bay.
Yeah.
And you're like, weird. This is just... You could consolidate. First of all, Batu has a ton of open space that's in there that I feel like they're going to be waiting to utilize for other things, whether live interactive shows, which they do some on the top tiers of some stuff. I saw the dedication ceremony in there alongside where kind of Ronto Roasters is. They have plenty of space.
Yeah.
There's no shortage of that, and they can always expand into something if they need to put something over there for a meet and greet kind of deal. And plus, they have it over by Kylo Ren's ship. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they're good on that end. You didn't need Launch Bay. That was just needless.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to add something in to make it a little bit better.
Yeah. I think that I'm realizing as we're doing these ratings that I have a little trepidation about getting anything a 5 because it's just my fear of what Disney's done so far in not delivering the maximum. So when I say 5, it's almost like don't get your hopes up kind of thing.
I'm going to get them up.
I
They're
know,
up.
but I will say on this one, I feel like what is there to lose? Because my son is aged out, and I feel bad for the parents that love the Disney Junior like live area, because that is great when you have a little to take them to. But I'm hoping that what they put in there kind of makes up for that. But what is there to lose? Because I could give a rat's patoot about Star Wars lingerie. You know me, I would have burned down Little Mermaid 2 while we were at it, because I was like, that's fine, that can go away. But I do very much miss the old animation store. But I'm not thrilled at the idea they're taking down that archway, because aesthetically, I feel like that was a neat part. But in the drawings, it looks like they're taking down that arch that goes into that section.
I didn't see that.
Yep.
I didn't see that at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I don't know that.
It's not a make or break, but it's just one of those things.
Well,
where
we
it's
said
like,
things seem needless, like taking down the Earful Tower and all. Remember they used to give you the hat size.
So it's like
at
for
the
you, that
holidays?
wasn't doing anything for you. Like the look of it. So for me, I like the look of that arch, and so I'm a little disappointed.
Well, it's also that arch was supposed to be pointing out going into the studio side of things, because you were like the backstage. The backstage wasn't led through there either. The backstage was on the other side, but it's like you were going through the animation.
Just like little touches that kind of add that extra theming. As we know, I'm the theming police. I just like a little extra touches.
And again, I was looking, and one of our friends, Rachel McHugh.
Who?
McHugh. The purveyor of McHugh's on the Disney Wish was also known as the Keg and Compass, but it's a forever name McHugh's because we met her there and her friends, who were lovely people. But she had some pictures, and I was going back and forth on an IG kind of little message thing with her, and I was saying, because the old pictures of Magic Kingdom. So Magic Kingdom, the courtyard of Magic Kingdom in front of the castle used to be just so green. Like, do you remember how much like foliage was there? Now it's like a concrete jungle. Like it's like literally you have some posts.
But they tried to make up for it by creating all the hub grass area.
Yeah, the hub grass area. But they took out, and I was like, oh my goodness, I forgot, because she had some old pictures. Because Rachel's old like us. No disrespect, but we're old now. So old lady. But anyway, she'll love that.
There goes a follower.
But we're down to 1. No, I'm just kidding. So. I was like, my goodness, I forgot all about that. Yeah. And it wasn't the Walt and Mickey statue right there either. It was like a kind of Mickey topiary or something like that was in there at one point too. But we're looking, I'm like, man, time has changed. And like, figure out how many changes have happened in the parks and
Look
expansion.
at the entrance to Tomorrowland, how they changed that.
Oh yeah, that was when they had all this kind of, you're like, oh yeah, that does look different now.
Yeah.
I remember when they started putting all stuff like, yeah, now it looks, because before, again, it looked like just the contemporary. Like, I mean, it was very, very simple. But yeah, so you gave your animation courtyard. What was the score you gave it?
I feel like I'm going to sit at a 4.75. I said I'd be close on a 5 on this one, but it's just Disney needs to earn 5s from me again. They need to blow me away with something to make me give them a 5.
All right, so we're going to go through, and this is something that just recently started for the close down, draining, and all this stuff for basically what's going to be Piston Peak. For the Cars themed land. It's not Cars Land. It's a Cars themed part of the park, which is going to be Piston Peak. It's slated 2028 to 2030, somewhere in there, to actually open this part up. I don't know. I mean, I feel like the charm of Liberty Square was with the ferry boat there, and it's just, I don't know how it's gonna look, because Tom Sawyer's Island's gonna be gone.
I am glad there's some water elements to it, because I was worried it was going to be all terrain and concrete and rock and whatever. Yeah,
they have to incorporate it somewhere into that.
Yeah, I mean, in the drawings you can see there's.
I still think they just take the ferry boat and make it one of the ones that like refit it and make it ones that take you back and forth from the one of the hotels or something. Maybe they can use that one. And I know because that's one more runs on a track, so it's a different type of vessel. But now with the Lakeside,
give it a big face and put it as part
Lakeside
of
Lodge, and I'll be like, here, just make this the one that runs from there and do that.
I am gonna give this a 3 because it's not that I don't think it could potentially be a cool thing.
Well, Cars Land and Disneyland is awesome.
I know.
I give that a 5. I'm like, I love that.
I know. I'm going to give
Castle della Taya.
Because you're asking me my excitement about it. Okay. I'm not yet excited, but I'm not saying that I think it's going to be a flop by any means. But I really need to see how they work this in, because it's crazy to me to think sometimes the same company that painted the Tower of Terror in an opposite park, a specific color, so it didn't disturb when you saw
The
it across the
aesthetics, yeah.
water from Morocco and put that kind of thought into the little details and created Go Away Green and this.
That was 30 years ago.
Yeah, but I'm
31 years ago, because that was 1994. I did figure that out. It was 1994 when Tower of Terror
So
opened.
the same company that did that, to think like, I have to hope that this will fit into, like you said, the where the Poop River is and everything, that it's going to fit and look like, I don't want anything in Disney that doesn't look like it fit like it was always supposed to be there. I have that issue with the Aladdin Magic Carpet. Sorry, but I just feel like those look like if you're playing one of those games online and it's like all the little squares and you have to like land your ride and like Ride Tycoon or something like that. And it's like, okay, like how many green squares are there that I can fit this ride and it looks jammed into that spot. That's how I feel about Aladdin's Magic Carpet.
You've mentioned.
It looks like it just fits.
Well,
in
Aladdin
there.
needs a better ride anyway. Like they
Sure.
just
It needs
actually.
a hotel.
Yeah. Think about what you said though. Okay, you were talking about the same company from 1994 that painted the Tower of Terror to match Morocco so it didn't ruin a skyline. In 1994, you've mentioned this a million times. Michael Eisner was the chairman of the Disney company. It was all about guest experience. I am a big Iger fan. Okay, I think from acquisitions and growing and really the culture and realizing we're not the step. I think Chapek was not so smart in that cost Disney a lot. I think it's a lack of, no disrespect to him either. He tried. He did some decent stuff with the parks.
So I think he was a scapegoat in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes there's just a fall guy. But you realize that it's when culture doesn't get passed to somebody. It's the same reason that Walmart used to be the best company in the world to work for when Sam Walton was alive. Now, when he passed away, he never really communicated his vision and what his morals, everything else to a next successor. He just died, and the kind of company died with him from a I want to work here kind of vibe. Okay. So like things went down. There's customer complaints. There was this, all fell apart. And he was just a man's man, showed up to work in his truck with his dogs and everything else. And it was beloved. And everybody was taken care of great in that company. That's the same thing fast forward now with like Southwest. Southwest used to be the premier airline and was like all about their employees, everything else, took care of people, really well done company. Now they're kind of starting to falter too. And they're kind of suffering from the same kind of things. But Disney as a whole, I'm with you. It's like when you thought and kind of put things out there and said, this is going to be in the skyline. So you got to make sure you paint it this way so it looks a certain way. Yeah, it made sense. Now just like, how many people can we get on it? When can it be done?
Or like I said, they created
Can we
Go
do it
Away
cheaper?
Green. Paint it so you don't notice it. Paint it. Scrims, we talk about that all the time. They used to put up scrims so you didn't see any construction.
Well, they
and
still
now
do
don't
that in
care about
Italy
it.
for like...
But not everything.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Tron, like it was very obvious.
Yeah,
You could
that
see
was
lot
a little bit of a
Epcot,
thing.
people call it Walcott and everything. Like there's so many things like that.
So what was your score on it?
3.
3. Okay. And what was mine? What did I say? Did I say something yet? I don't know. I don't remember. It was too long ago. All right. We'll just say I'm probably somewhere in the same realm as you. We'll just do that. If I said something different, call me out on it. Check the comments. Now, last, we're going to go into one that this is a big, big deal. Okay. And this has been a long time coming. We're hoping Destination D, which is later this year, towards the fall, that they'll announce something for this and kind of a little more information about it. But it's the Villain's Land in the Magic Kingdom, which what considered beyond Thunder Mountain. There was a whole project and everything. Oh, we're going to do this. And I feel like that's a wet spaghetti thing that we've all been saying. So we need a Villain's Land, They finally listened. Now they're saying there's going to be a Maleficent style roller coaster in there. It's going to
And her
follow
castle.
That. And her castle's going to be there, which I don't know. Villain's Land, I got to see how they do it. Like multiple now you're going to have 3 castles at Magic Kingdom. You have the Beast Castle, which is just a forced perspective that doesn't look. It looks like a chimney.
Go with their 3
It looks like
mountains.
a chimney. It doesn't even look like anything.
3
and
mountains,
then
3 castles.
Cinderella's, and then you'll have Maleficent, which is basically, same, it's another Sleeping Beauty like thing. So make it stumpy like Sleeping Beauty's castle. No offense, Disneyland people.
Size matters. Get your shirt on Theme Park
It does.
sorry.
Yeah. So Gina's phone goes off during
Sorry,
the podcast.
I had it on Do Not Disturb. It was an alarm. Sorry.
So I will say that as far as for me for excitement for this, I definitely am at a 5. Because I feel like there's a ton can go wrong. I also feel like there was a missed opportunity with not doing the Emperor's New Groove as like the pull the lever kind of thing, but maybe they'll still do something like that in there. I feel like they have to have an element of that into something, because that definitely deserves something. Even that, like a river ride, it doesn't matter. Or they knew they do the Zootopia nights at like
It was brief.
at what is it, Typhoon Lagoon. Thank you. But this is, again, something they're thinking between 2029, 2030, somewhere around there, scheduled for this to be a thing. And, Thunder Mountain's been getting worked on, all this other stuff. So we're like, I'm anxious for this one. I think this is the most excited I am for anything, because I kind of excited to not know what's going in there. But I'm hoping it's overly themed. I'm hoping it's not just you're walking through and it feels kind of like, no disrespect to Adventureland or anything else, where just some foliage and like here's a shop and stuff. But I feel like it gives you that feeling almost like Batu, or even almost like the same thing when you walk through the boneyard of like from Scar and like the Lion King and all this other stuff. Maybe they do that kind of element somewhere off of it. I feel like that would have been a really cool addition. A follow-up Wet Spaghetti for Animal Kingdom is to really put in a boneyard, not like the Dino boneyard, but like a boneyard for like Scar, and make something into a Lion King ride, because the Lion King does need a ride in there, and make it somewhere, not Festival of the Lion King, not anything like that, but an actual ride, but make it a villain based one like with Scar. That would be really cool. 5. My score is 5.
I just think this is a huge miss that it is a land and not a gate. I feel like when I'm listening to you talk, we could sit here and Wet Spaghetti or brainstorm 50 different rides or attractions or things we could do around villains to limit it to a little land, which we all know will probably be 2 attractions most. Okay, let's say 3 at most attractions they'll put in there, right? It's like Avatar. They put all that in, and then it was like.
But you know why Disney does it? You know why Disney does it is because obviously staffing's an issue, costs are an issue, but it's also saying what element can we do to pull more people into the parks? But they have to go to this park and they'll have to experience the other
Has
things
Magic
too.
Kingdom ever not felt crowded though? Magic Kingdom's the tightest park.
But what I'm saying is,
so
if
it
you
always
made it
feels like
separate
crowd.
when you say, "Oh, we're
I get
overrun
it. This was my time.
yeah.
This was my time. Okay.
Well, down here it's our time. Our time down here. Go ahead, Chunk.
I just feel like I could tell you separate lands within a villain's park, and I know there's a separate episode to be done about Fifth Gate, and this would be my top-notch suggestion, that a villain's park would have been amazing, because again, not all villains are scary, so you could have still catered to the children. I feel like that would have been amazing. You could have had a whole, my mind could go berserk just thinking of all the things they could have done. But let's take it down to what's actually happening. Okay, a villain's land. I am excited as far as I like seeing anything new come along, something new to check out, something fun. I feel like the whole Maleficent thing, though, is just so expected. It's like, does she not get enough attention already? I feel like Maleficent is like their favorite villain. Yeah. She's always getting something. She's always a big presence. I feel like her and Ursula.
Well, you figure it's like she's an OG villain, though. That's the thing. It's like she's the OG as well as like the Wicked Witch.
I feel like for her to get the roller coaster and the castle, it just feels a little expected to me. I'm not saying it had to be Yzma, obviously my favorite villain. But I will say excitement level, I will give this a 4.5. I will say, I think it's a 5 all the way. Again, I told you my trepidation. I don't know if I can give anything a 5 today just because I worry. But I think my hesitance or my deductions on this came from the fact that I think a whole Fifth Gate would have been so much cooler for villains. Also seeing as the villain show, which again, I have not seen, but the reviews I have heard seem like that was a bit lackluster because there's only 3 actual villains on stage and the other ones they put on screens.
I'll see it this month anyway when I'm
But
down
they
there.
only put 3 on the stage and the rest are on screens. And it's like, would have been that hard? Is that the kind of staffing issues we're having? We can't even put 5 villains on the stage, so I just need Disney to bring back the magic in this land. And I'm really
hoping for some really good. I'm hoping for a really good restaurant. Option.
Yeah, because like that's a big thing across the seas too. Is when you see these really cool
and snacks,
themed
like snacks and
restaurants that they do. Why does Magic Kingdom not have more really cool themed restaurants? Like especially like an Alice in Wonderland restaurant. Even Pinocchio's Village House is not very Pinocchio-ish, So like, why are we not doing the magic and wonder?
I feel like
in those restaurants.
I feel like food
castle,
service
yes,
things,
obviously.
Even cost-wise, you can make things like Japan. Like everything's cheap. Like it's like literally like here, this is like a $2 snack, and you're like, oh, this would be like $10 in Magic Kingdom. But you're like, you can make things that taste good. Number one, taste good. and then look good. Like, you eat with your eyes first. And that's as a foodie person, we always say that. Like, when you get something, you see people taking pictures of food because it's an experience. That's the other thing for Disney. That's a way to go virus. Okay, you're going to go virus. I know it's viral, but that's what we say. So,
Unkempt.
yeah, it's unkept. But it's like, yeah, so people want to have a wow factor in what they do. So you can have skewered little things, or like, it's kind of like what they did in Dark
Disney's
Universe.
doing decent
Dark
with that. They're
Universe,
not
they
doing
did
what
it, Gina.
across
Like I said, they have a place, you sit down, you have all this stuff, and they have all these menu items like that. You need to go through and figure out and say, look, you want Instagrammable content and items that people can be like, oh, I gotta go. It's the same reason Tiffany loved the churro and all that was at the one not so scary, and the other one was garbage.
Working on that though. They're doing better than they ever did when we were growing up. It was all very basic snacks. When Instagram came along, I do think Disney is constantly.
And they need to update and up their popcorn bucket game to match what's overseas, because they start to. Now they got the Mickey one that
the Spaceship Earth
Stephanie
one.
got for us for the studio. Thank you. Shout out Stephanie Bigfoot. I don't know if I ever thanked you. That's very nice of you. But that talks or whatever. But the other ones overseas, they have so many things. You're like, these are wild. But can you imagine what they do in a villain's land? You could do something. You could have, God knows what it could be. You could have something with Hades' head or something like that. You can do it. And Hades is a great villain too. So you got a lot of stuff to go on back. And we could talk forever about this.
But even like a Queen of Hearts restaurant or something like that. Or like, I just feel like that is easy theming to do. And when you really think about it, now, obviously we've got Beak and Barrel coming that we already talked about. So that should be cool theming.
Yeah, you can do one off with their head. You know, like the restaurant.
Yeah, but I think when you're, as much as I like authentic theming, like as far as to the land, like Liberty Tree Tavern and Diamond Horseshoe and all, or...
You know what? This is from Emperor's New Groove. You know the restaurant they ate at? You could do that in that. But I mean, it's not very villainy, but you could say, Oh, weird. What's the chance of that trapdoor lead me out here?
My Spanish puffs.
My Spanish puff.
Yeah, but Patrick Warburton just taking over Disney. Soaring
everywhere.
Soaring
and these guys.
Yes.
Thanks,
but
good job, pal.
Really hope Disney just lives up to it, because something that I feel like, and we talk about a lot on the podcast, again, it's not a trash cast, but I feel like the vibe I get from Disney a lot of times is some of other establishments I've encountered in my life where they'll still come back. Yeah. Like, they'll still come back. I don't want to be looked at as a guest where you go, I mean, you're still going to come. I want you to make me want to come there. Make me be excited about coming there.
I'm not wasting all my wet spaghettis, but I'm like, one of them will involve some kind of villains tavern that will be in that part lane, since they're already at Beak and Barrel and all these things. I feel like as you expand the park, you need to expand opportunity, because honestly, remember, when you're making these different places, you're also, it's limited to what you can and can't get into. So if you go in Beak and Barrel, you can't get availability and you're a trip and it's your one time to Disney World. Is there another experience like it? Is there somewhere you can go, like a villain's tavern, that somebody's like, oh, I can get into this now? And they try to accommodate, because they said, oh, a time limit, stuff like that. Again, when does it kick in? But you want to make it so the people that want to do something while they're on their vacation, they get a chance to do it. Otherwise, don't make it somewhere where you have to, make it a grab and go. Like you said, you can come in here, you can take some pictures, you can do this stuff, you can grab a drink at the bar, you get kind of ushered in there, and then you're gone. Just like Tutto Gusto does a good job of that in Italy. You go to order. Table. Yeah, Tutu small table. Yeah, like, so you go in there, you grab your drink, pay for it, you come outside, you enjoy your beverage. You can do stuff like that, you know, a grab and carry kind of thing, and that would work out great. Now, this episode, obviously, because we're running long again, as we often do, we want to go through, Gina, do we want to do any shout-outs this week?
Oh, I'm sure that we do, Josh.
Okay, let's go to shout-out.
All right.
Way to join me on that one, thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was out in the cold.
I was actually just thinking, because I wasn't prepared yet, and I didn't make a note yet of who I was going to give a shout out to. But we've done a lot of shout outs for friends on Instagram, obviously, that we are very grateful. But I want to give a shout out to a brand new podcast that just started. It's called Operation Magic. That is hosted by Josh Dunn.
That's Sensei Josh.
Yes, and James Kemp. And we met them on Sharing the Magic podcast. And they are both veterans. And they are creating, yes, absolutely. They are creating a podcast that is basically a veteran's perspective on
I love that.
Disney.
I love that idea.
And I'm
Josh had a lot of great perspectives on certain things and talking.
He
really did some
good
heartwarming stories. But yeah.
Yes. So I want to give a shout out to that brand new podcast.
To a fellow Josh.
Yes. At present time, they had just dropped one episode. And so it's available at very least on YouTube. I'm not sure the other platforms.
No, I love that
just
angle.
yet.
And I also do, like we've talked about before, I love what Disney will do for veterans and all like discount stuff, like Shades of Green, whatever it might be. And they should probably even do more.
Yeah.
But I really do. I'm looking forward to seeing that perspective from somebody that has served our country and see what they think of certain things in Disney.
I also want to give a shout out to two people because right now our dad, who we give a lot of flack to, and we've given a shout out once before, is finally, I think, getting in the groove of watching our podcast. All the episodes. So this is a timed event. I'm going to see how long before we get a text from him saying, I heard my shout out in this episode. So shout out to our dad. We actually do really want to have him as a guest on the podcast because he is the reason that we fell in love.
She does. I'm indifferent.
We fell in love with Disney. He did actually text us and say, I saw your episode where you told him I ran over somebody with my scooter.
It was accurate. He did run over a kid and he should have to pay for it.
And then I want to give a shout out to our niece Braelynn, who has also been a fan of our show and has been
very talented, brilliant writer, by the way. I
Yes.
saw she's working on a children's book that really is just
so we want to give her a shout out
groundbreaking,
for
too.
all her support and for helping out trying to get our dad to listen to our podcast.
Well,
she's
shout out
been
to them
staying with
both.
him.
And like I said, I'm really impressed with our niece, by the way, because just a short, humble brag on that. I mean, she is tremendously talented.
Yeah.
Her writing ability and her mind is just... God knows it's
so
shout
out
to them. Gina, why don't you tell people where they can find us? They know this is 20 some episodes into this podcast.
Yes. Well, if you have found us for the first time or you're a regular watcher, please make sure you have subscribed to Bring Back the Magic on YouTube. Hit the like on this video, hit the notification bell so you are alerted for every single upcoming episode that comes your way. And also, if you're listening on Spotify, please hit the follow button on there. On either platform, we love your comments, so keep them coming. We don't mind if you comment the entire episode like it's a chat. And then on social media, you can find us at BBT Magic Podcast. That is on TikTok and Instagram, and we do also have a Facebook.
Nice. All right. And also, this episode is brought to you by Theme Park Chuckle. Go on Theme Park Chuckle and grab yourself a Disney-based t-shirt or two, such as this Baseline Besties shirt to show you... I love when I mess up. Anyway, I'm glad this graphic is on the screen for those of you watching on YouTube so you don't see my face all blushing. Anyway, so Baseline Besties, this is a great shirt, especially when you want to show your pride for the Baseline Tap House. And everybody loves that place. So share this shirt
That's
with
a
a
great
bestie
one
of
that's
yours.
pretty easy to get into, too. When you're talking
and
about
that's
weights.
a great spot to drink local watering hole and everything.
Love the vibe. I want to be there in the evening sometimes. I feel like I'm always there in the day.
There was a weird lady talking to herself on the phone the one day. Oh, that was you. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us for another great episode. We appreciate you being here. Don't forget, like Gina said, to like and subscribe to all of our social media channels, YouTube, Spotify, if you're watching us. Thank you so much for your support. We do appreciate each and every one of you. It's so great interacting with you. The Disney community is absolutely the best. I'm just talking longer so that Gina waits to put her little ear things up.
He knows I am waiting. That's my send-off, you big jerk.
I'm just kidding. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. Please watch your head and step as you exit the podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Bring back the magic for all to see. Together we'll discover all the joy and glow. In every story, there's a little bit of gold. Join our podcast adventure, let the magic unfold.